Alright guys, so today I'll be doing a little intro to SASS, SASS. Might be basic for some of you all, but it was interesting to me. I came across it a little while ago. I've been doing much stuff in design and HTML and things, so when I saw this, it was a bit interesting. So let's go. So what does SASS stand for? SASS stands for Syntactically Awesome Style Sheets. Is a preprocessor. It extends CSS and it lets you use certain new things like variables, nested rules. You have important features like inheritance and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. It have built-in functions that you could use to do things like to darken a color. It have mathematical operators you could use. Just gonna check my chat. Hold on.
No, don't.
Oh, don't? Okay, great. All right. Yeah. So it uses SAS files, and then it so it preprocesses these SAS files and it compiles it into CSS files. All right. There are two options for using SASS today. You have SASSy CSS with .scss file extension. This one is fully compliant with CSS syntax, so you could drop CSS straight into .scss file and it will work fine. The same can't be said for the .sass file extension. This one, it tries to do away with the sort of things that not really adding much to the code, so like curly braces and stuff that you'll find in CSS. They do away with that. They just have a new the name of the selector, new line, and then they expect the properties to happen after. So it looks cleaner for some, but then it might be a little harder to transition. So we're going with the .scss extension today, which will be more familiar with those who know CSS. If anything important happen in the chat, let me know. Right. So one of the cool features that we're going to look at is the ability to use variables.
Owen wanted to know when we put in SAS in the QuickBooks Designer.
I don't know if it's sassy enough for that, but we'll see though. Definitely looking at it. Shut up,
I think you get benefit in the form real quickly, if you know, because wait, we probably need to style the form first. Anyway, move it.
Yeah, way. Shots, way. Moving on, way. Hey, the form style, by the way.
that man on QuickBooks platform.
So one of the cool things they have in variables. So the variables can be used to store values. So just like in normal programming, you could have like a global variable. So let me say a color, you'll have the variable name. So you declare it with like the $, then the variable name, colon, and the value. So on the presentation here, seen you could declare a SAS variable like so, theme color green, and then you could call that variable anywhere in your style sheet. So on the screen now, you'll see body. Body has color, that theme color. The anchor tag also uses that theme color. So it makes it real cool for theming things to just change the color one place. It happens, and it will happen throughout wherever you're calling this variable. Let me just throw up this cake.
Hey Pete, what is the difference between using a class or ID in CSS? Why is this variable thing so big? Because to make it achieve the same functionality with using an ID or a class.
All right, I'll get to that. Was that one?
Sorry, that was.
Nah, go ahead. Think out loud, man.
It's very different, Russell.
How?
You can't assign a variable name to a particular value and use it across a CSS. This is not targeting the elements. This is targeting what is in the actual CSS definitions.
All right, let them go on. I still don't see it.
So I understand your question, Russell, because I had the same question. Like, so then why not just use a class, or what is the difference from a class, and then you'll just have a class. But then as your style sheets and stuff get bigger, you might need to put this one class you can end up getting your markup heavy with classes and that kind of stuff. So I thought of the same question too. Hopefully you'll see it more as we go along here. So I'll just go to the example, show up this pen. So I'm using CodePen because we could just see stuff happen quickly. And it also has a SASS preprocessor built in. All right, so we'll just throw in some HTML here. All right, so just some boring old HTML here, nav, each one paragraph tag, right? All right, so let's throw in let's into variables here. Right, and now we can just have our H1 tag, get this, use this blue.
All right, they make more sense now.
Right. And we have we'll do the body. Right, shouldn't have received, but okay. So hold on. So so this didn't work here because we're still on CSS. I didn't change the preprocessor, so you need to go in here and you'll choose your CSS preprocessor. So we'll be going with SCSS, right? And this it happens here. So we can now so I'll just to show you that it's not lies. Change that there. Yeah.
You said SCSS is compliant CSS?
No. CSS could go into a SCSS file, but not vice versa. It has to so the reason why it didn't work just now, which is what I think you're asking, is so you see these variables and all these things I have here, this wouldn't work in a normal CSS file. So that is why nothing happened. But you could put in normal CSS. Yeah, so you see Ginger? So you could put in normal CSS in here, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
The other type is just a condensed kind of version without all the ceremony of curly braces and
Yeah,
stuff.
correct. With all the bloated sign up was the called bloated.
I know the word
yeah.
he was gonna use.
Janjato.
Yeah.
Use
I find that better.
or like
You find that better?
Yeah, for me,
It is better,
faster.
especially it is. I definitely think so. But I think if you're trying to transition, and which is also for the point of the presentation, I think I thought it would have been easier to show this. For me, like Rosland thing that way.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah.
I said JS.
Yeah.
You don't really understand these things. So.
Yeah. Oh, and we can also see. So just for you to see what's going on here, so we can quickly switch back to the compiled CSS, and this is what you'll see here.
Oh, so this is a result of the
Correct.
processing of
Correct. The compile thing, yeah. So and just to show you as well, we could do the li just to show you the variables being used again. Right. So he changed there as well. I'll make sure it's working now. Maybe not, right?
Yeah, there's all anchors, right?
Oh, it have anchors in them. It wasn't supposed to have anchors as yet, right? That's supposed to come after, right? But we could just take off one and you'll see it, right? Just to prove that it's not a line, right? See, look at green. All right, so blue.
Sorry, Ryan asking a question. I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure if he's asking a question or he's saying something, man.
Ask it now, Ryan. If you're talking about because I'm presenter mode and I'm using 2 screens and 4 screens, all kind of things here, man.
And you're not sure how to use Windows properly. Yes,
Yeah,
got
man.
it. I just being clear. So your example using color, the color attribute right through, but it didn't need to be color, right?
No,
Could it be
correct.
anything else?
It could be background color. It could be, so I could change this to background.
Cool. All right, good.
See, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, so anything. Right. So, right. So which was helps the Russell thing. So if it was just the CSS here and you want to change this blue, you'd probably have to go find this blue and change it everywhere. But with here now, we could just change it on top and get the different effects. So it helps a lot with theming stuff. Right, let me move on to where's our next question. Just to be clear. All right, so let's move on now to nesting. So, right. So CSS doesn't really follow any kind of hierarchical structure. So where HTML, you would start off with your body tag, then so like how we have the UL tag, LI, and then inside of that, and you keep indenting and going down. CSS already have that, but with SASS, it allows us to do something like that, which allows us to, when you're reading the file, it's very easy on the eyes. It also helps with maintainability too, because of how easy it is to read. So I'm gonna show you. So if we were to do some stuff for the nav, right, in CSS, and remember you could throw in CSS in SCSS. So this is some stuff for the nav here, right? So you see the styles change, right? So we have nav UL, nav LI, nav E, right? If we were to do this in, well, the nice way of doing this in SCSS would be like this. So now, so reading this now, we have like a parent tag. So we have a nav. It starts off with the, okay, this right. We start off with the nav tag, and then so we have a normal property here, but then we indent with the UL tag inside of it. Then the LIs. So everything here inside the nav tag, it will be, these rules would follow here. So how your style sheet will structure, it will kind of follow more closely to what your HTML will be looking like. So the same we have nav UL LI here, A, we have nav UL LIE, and goes on like that. So it helps in reading a little better. It helps to section off things better as well. Again, if you watch the CSS, you'll see it comes back to the same thing that we had before, right? But just the SCSS side, it just looks a lot cleaner and organized.
Wait, sorry, Pedro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of a little confused here. So what you showed on the screen currently is the SCSS, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And so everything inside there would be for the nav.
Correct.
And it could show
So
back.
if I put a UL outside of here, it wouldn't get any of these styles.
Okay. And then it could show the CSS.
Sure. I'll switch it. Just I'm gonna bring this down a little bit so you can see more. Yeah, so this is the CSS, and this was the same CSS that I pasted before. Yeah.
Okay. No.
So the normal nav UL, yeah.
Right. Okay. I missed the way how they put the nav
at the top.
At the start of the
yeah. So this is
query
nav,
or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
But you choose that
So
file. You make it
I have a question. Pete. This is just a way to group the styles, or is it that? Is this just to say to specify all the elements inside a nav in one place, or is it that
One
The
place as
same.
well as just in terms of readability. So it think of it also not that you're converting from here, but like you're starting from scratch. So that as soon as you start, so a new person, as soon as they start to write this, and then they follow the same structure inside. I'll switch back here. Then they follow that same structure inside here. It's a little easier to follow and read, especially if
Right.
you're doing it straight here one time now.
So it's nothing like inheritance here, although
No,
implicitly
no,
in CSS, all of those inside tags going to have
no, nothing to do with
the
nothing to do with
background red.
inheritance. Just to do with the DOM selection. So instead of saying nav UL, it just splits out like this first.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how much levels deep you could go? So like you could put another tag inside
Yes, you could. But IE has some sort of, I only briefly touched on it, but there's
Sorry,
some
which
way.
browser?
Yeah. IE again with this strippiness have some sort of limit on the amount of nesting as well
IE
as
or Edge?
I think 9 and then above have two different types of limitations. But there are limitations with it in IE. They have like you could only use like 4,000 something selectors and a certain amount of like for the inheritance where you could use imports and extends and stuff like that. It have limits on it.
Sorry, hold on, Pete.
Yeah.
You saying so? Well, two things. One, so I like the logical grouping. That's what you're doing. So you're targeting nav, and you're going to work with this component, this specific component, and I'm going to deal with all the styling with this specific component and everything inside of nav. So that kind of essentially breaks up your page into lovely little elements that we could work on individually.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. That's kind of one of the goals at Talamaska as well. But we could get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
But you said that. Well, the other thing is, I don't think you should begin to go too deep within the like nesting because it'll get confusing.
Yes.
So I think like maybe 1 or 2 levels. I feel that should be
correct. So like with any tool, as much as you have powerful features, you could also end up in a kind of monkey pants because you might be doing too much.
Right.
I'll also show some of that with the other more powerful features where you could end up being worse for the wear by using the features maybe wrongly, but yeah. But yeah, here we see.
And finally, you were saying that I have an issue with the nesting, but I thought this was pre-compiled, so you compile it to CSS. So why would I have to do any nesting
right
nesting?
because so all right, so I'll get to that. You'll see it when I get to it. It will be hard to explain now without going into the more advanced features.
Okay, no problem.
All right, cool. So all right, I just want to add one more right, so I want to add one more variable here. So one of the quicker ways to see, well, not quicker ways, but like an easy way to see the advantage of it too is not the nesting, but going back with variables. So I'm gonna mix in just to show you all how we could put the variables inside the nesting and stuff like that. Nothing big, but the hover is one of the more common things where you would kind of switch between two colors. So you'd switch the background and the color text. So let me just do this. Put this yellow and put the oh, no. We have a blue already, right? So let's not check my right here. So I have this guy and primary color blue. So the as blue and this as anchor tag yellow. I can get a hold by anchor bleachy. Cool. So right. So here, just to show you again, first put in some of the variables inside this a hover in the nesting, and how easy just again to switch it out to report. Yeah, just quick thing, nothing big. After nesting, show you the, I think I showed you the output for the CSS on the nesting already, right? So let me do something more cool now, and that would be mixins. Did I close my presentation? Damn it. 1 second here, let's find this quick. Variables, nesting. Right, mixins. Right. So mixins are pretty cool. You could get basically think of it like little functions. You could use to call a set of properties. You're allowed to put some parameters as well to pass down to the properties, which is why I kind of like little functions. So here you could see, so you have to declare it by saying @mixin, then the name, and inside the parameters you can see $radius. So that is like same parameters using before. Now you could just put those parameters inside here, and then call out the properties you want. A lot of times you'd use mixins would be for calculation type stuff, or like what we have here, the vendor prefixes for doing radius on the different browsers. So it's something that you wouldn't want to keep writing over and over all the time, and just to quickly bring it into your new style, right?
Oh, yeah, Pete. So it's basically a function.
Yes.
That I could reuse in my code. So
correct.
I need to be able to set the radius, the border radius, many places, but they're going to have different.
Correct. So if you want, you can not put a parameter and set it as well.
Right.
So not do the radius, but then
it's the same thing. It's like a function.
Yeah.
They're just they're recalling over and over to.
Correct.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. So one of the examples we'll go to now will be like buttons. Buttons are a common thing, right? You'll have just now. Let me just grab that mixin that I had just now there. So we drop the mixin in here, border radius, and then we add right. So to add the mixin, you'll do a @include, call the name of it. So border radius is the name. We have to pass in the value for the parameter for the radius. So we could put 10 pixels, let's say. I'm gonna put this on a div, so we give it a width 50 pixels, and height again, I guess, square. Right. Let's give it a background color as well. We could use the primary color we have. Right. Line with the theme sort of thing. Right. Let's do this here. You see immediately there, the box comes up, but then close it. That's why it's wrapped in. Right. So there you can see the box there, right? So this box took the border radius to give us the rounded. Well, so if you didn't know, border radius gives you rounded corners. And we also put the background color with the variable that we had from before. Right?
Change the size, right? Change the size. Sorry.
Oh, wait, bigger.
No, change the 10 pixels, right? So you can see it, the function in use, right? That's what I wanted to see. Change the parameter you're passing, rather. Sorry.
Is the horizontal rule, right? Who knows, right?
Yeah, right. You close it before you finish it, right?
Oh, it was there. I just gone for a margin here. Is this, you wanted more round, you say, or the bigger box?
No, I wanted it to change the 10
Oh, so you
pixels
can see it.
input
See it.
so I
Okay,
could
well,
see
let's
the
make it.
function being called.
Let's make it bigger as well, so we could so make it bigger so we could see it happening more, right? Right. So live and direct, people. Live and direct. So boom, boom.
How much it do? Oh, there it is. There it is. Sorry.
Again, a circle. Yeah,
I'm
basically.
making a circle square.
Yeah.
How many
Okay, so hold on, I won't tell you about that yet, so that'll be nice to come after. Right, so one of the problems with this that I have seen, well, especially if you're not using it like a function where you're passing a parameter, right? So if you watch the CSS here, or we could just do a next one. Let's do box. So we could copy some of these styles here. And then the include. So we do the same thing here. So it's not so bad when you have when you have different ones, it's not so bad, right? Because I mean, there's a different radius you're going for. But if you're using the same thing, you could end up with your CSS getting like this. So whereas before you'd have just like put this class, a comma separated on this one, you kind of end up with that. So that is why it's good for when you have stuff that you need the parameter to pass and change the value. That is when you would want to use this more and not just use it as a tool to reuse common properties, right? So this is mixins. So it helps to get stuff dry, right? So you don't repeat yourself, but there's only part of the solution to doing that. The other thing is that we need inheritance. So, right, the extend / inheritance, right? So this is the one that will help with keeping stuff dry. It helps reduce the bloat that mixing might cause. We have placeholder classes, so you'll have the percentage sign to start declared, then the name. So as you can see here, percentage BTN. You have the specific style, display, and the padding, and then in the my button class is where we'll call this. We'll extend this BTN here. Use the @extend percentage BTN, and my BTN will now when it's preprocessed and compiles, when it's compiled to the CSS, my BTN will actually have these two lines, display and the padding, before the background green. So this is where you could reuse common properties. So, and one of the problems as well with the same bloating thing is that how people use it. I've seen. So the best practice is to make sure you find a common set of properties. Well, common set of selectors, should I say? So, take example, the same button, a button selector. You expect buttons to have a certain size on your site, a certain width, right? Or the same display and padding. That might be two. Let me do the code pen example because that will have a little more meaningful properties, right? So let's add 3 buttons here with this div. HR will to explain it, trust you.
Pete, you
right.
close it before you tap on it. I was saying.
Yeah, but here now we understand. So we have 3 button classes here, right? So I didn't put the SCSS fit yet, so we're gonna drop that in now. So we're gonna put our placeholder. One thing as well with the placeholder is that the placeholder won't come up in your CSS. So if we check this right now, well, I open it on there. Right, so you see, so you could have your file filled with those placeholders, but it wouldn't bloat your CSS. You're not gonna have that all over the place, right? Go back down to it. Yeah, button. So I just had some stuff from before, so we're just gonna throw it in, but you'll see, I'll show you all where it have the extent, right? So, right. So we have the button placeholder, button positive extends button, button negative extends button, button neutral extends button, right? But the difference is here we put little different colors on them, right? So, right. So look, you can see them down here. Right? So they all have the same display inline block property and the same padding of 1 EM. We could do something else like I'm padding on them just to see. No, I have padding.
You could call your function around them by a mixing.
Yes, you could. Which is wait now we're rushing the presentation.
Sorry.
Let me just add something where like all of them have the same height, let's say. So you want all the buttons to have the height of 75 pixels, so you see. Right, so you see? So here we could have like a common set of properties for one type of selector or one type of element on your site. So if we share this, so if we watch the CSS for these 3 classes now, you should see these 3 things here. Right, but how it does it, so unlike the mixin, which would have doubled up, but right, so you see the mixin here double this up. The extends does it like the comma separated as you normally do in CSS, so it's not as bloated. So again, that's why you would use this one versus, that's how the difference in using the mixin. So when you want the different set of small properties, you'd use the mixin where you could pass in your variable. When you just want to reuse common properties, you will do it like this. So one of the things that they were saying now, so just because this has display inline block and padding and height, right? And let me say it has some other span on your site that might have these 3 things, but you wouldn't really want to put that, you wouldn't really want to extend the button. Let me switch back here. Right. Yeah, go ahead.
Ryan saying something. Ryan, you post some stuff. Is it relevant to the topic?
Yeah.
Well, just the way you had to say that, man.
Well, I know you ran out of time, so well, let me briefly.
Okay.
So the question I was trying to figure out. Well, I mean, SASS seems like really cool. So why don't browsers just, because the output of SASS seems to create a lot of sometimes bloated CSS, right? So I was kind of thinking, so why the hell the browsers don't just support something like SASS one time? So started to do some searching, and there's not. This person on Quora is saying there's nothing to stop the W3C from deciding to make it a browser standard, but they don't at the moment. And he says arguably calc and CSS variables are examples where preprocessor influences standards. Never heard of calc and CSS variables before, have you?
I think with CSS variables, I was just looking at that link and saying the IE has no support for it.
Well, no, I don't mind if IE doesn't have support because Edge is the thing, right?
Probably can't say that to our clients. I'm not sure. But the other point you're making is which is similar to a point that Akash and Anna are making this morning around when we should stop using stuff like jQuery in favor of ES6, which you and I were talking about yesterday, Ryan.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that buzz around finding the modern expressions of these things, but I don't think there is a modern expression of SASS or less that is usable just yet.
All right. So as Smooth suggested, so here you can see background color and color being repeated here, right? With the difference just being the value. So mixin to the rescue, we can put in a mixin for button colors. We could pass in 2 variables, a text color and a background color, and set those. All right. So now we do the include for this mixin. and the name, which is, oh, what's the color say before? I don't remember. Go and type this in, button colors. The text color, which is white, which is green. As you can see, it's still positive. There's this one, green and white. It's still green and white, just like it was before. All right, so you could actually see the difference between here and these here, how it is, and how much cleaner it would make your stuff be. What else we have? Oh, we have time running out, but I'm just throw in some functions quick. So, right, functions. It have inbuilt functions, stuff specific to RGB and HSL. HSL stands for hue, saturation, and lighting, I think, which we will use one of those right now to show you how we can easily change a color, the shade of a color, without actually changing the color, right? Without changing the name of the color or the hash on the color. So I'm gonna do that quick. Let's add a new variable called, okay, just do it there. Change it here. Darken blue, right? So here we have a function called darken. It takes in the color, and this is the amount of to darken the color by, right? So we could actually do the neutral guy. We could keep light gray, just to blue. Hope it works. Let's see. Oh, that is a good job, Keisha. You see, I was tricking all of there. Because that's not a function, guys. Come on. Get with it. That was just the SCSS bit, right? No. It had the correct thing. Keisha teeth in my head over there. That's not a new div. New div will save you here. Dark blue. And then dark blue. Dark blue's background is blue. That works, right? Oh, we had a bar size on it, right? Width. What's wrong, guys? What's wrong?
You have background color with no thing on it.
With no one.
Oh, and in button neutral.
In button neutral.
It's the SCSS definition.
Right. Yeah. Here.
Oh,
I see it. Let's put neutral was what, light gray. Let's put that hipster. That isn't it, but anyhow, it have functions. You can use. Yeah, you see it?
You just cut.
Oh, look at
darken and
heading color. Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, right.
Change this trash to. All right, so good. Okay, great. So there you can see at that 50, it's like black, but at 20, it's like that. And
yeah. So Peter, I was just asking, couldn't you just in your definition?
Yeah, you could throw it in right there. Yeah, you could throw it in right
there.
Yeah, that was the plan. But when things wasn't working out, I get flustered by it. But yeah, you could do exactly what Smooth says here. and you'll see the same thing.
And we'll cut out the dark blue variable name, right? Couldn't you take all that? Or just go on and score
You
the
could-
function
you could-
asking?
I'm while in here, boy.
No,
I
I'm just
could- you could.
asking, man.
You could. That's exactly how I wanted to do it, right?
Right.
That's how I have it, right? All right, brilliant. It also have the functions are also great because you have mathematical operators as well, plus, minus, multiply, and you could end up doing a lot of cool functions, custom functions, which I wouldn't have time to show, but you could do a lot of cool custom functions. Men make bubble sort, men make stuff to change the text color based on the background color. It have ifs and all that kind of stuff.
We could do height set, right?
I didn't even check for that, but that'd be awesome if it could do. Yeah, but
Pete,
so you remember this go-to? So you remember this go-to?
I put it in the chat. I put the link in the chat.
Oh, for real?
Man,
Yeah,
start up all that thing, boy.
Yeah, boy.
I end it. Boom.
Yeah, boy. Good job.
All right, guys, that's it, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a little basic, but hopefully I could do a part 2 where I could do more cooler stuff with the functions and things like that.
Pete, SASS or less?
Yeah, that's my question.
Oh,
You have a recommendation there?
Because
no, I don't. Yeah, they are. I don't have a recommendation. I need to read up more into it. There was something else as well besides those two, I think, but I needed to do more reading up on it.
Probably mess.
Yeah. So, well, guys are there, guys.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
There you have it. That was some good stuff there, Pete. Definitely useful. Any comments from anybody? No? Yeah? No?
Yeah, what episode are we looking forward to next week, right?
Wait, I can't tell that offhand.
You
Committee.
run, right? You run, or?
Or they could back me up there.
I
Aaron
think
went
it might be. Nah, it's not Aaron.
It's I.
Keisha. Yeah.
Keisha, boom.
Totally clear.
Totally clear.
Hashtag clear six, boy.
Totally clear. That's what we're looking at. Keisha, cool jam to say, you know.
That should be the title of your presentation.
I hope it is.
Hashtag totally clear. Yeah, it will be.
Totally clear.
Thanks, Keisha.
Yeah, but how much alcohol and water though?
0.
That's the real question.
0.1%.
0.1%.
Oh, and take me out there, right?
Boom, 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 boom,
Boom.
boom, 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 boom. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
All right, that's all, folks.